Hey guys, Hitman89 here and welcome to my top 10 RPGs you should try in 2019. As usual, this top 10 is subjective and most importantly, it's in no particular order, but feel free to cuss me out if your favorite game isn't on this video. Now without further ado, let's get started with the first game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and even though some die-hard Assassin's Creed fans hate the fact that this game became an RPG, I have to say I'm glad it did, cause Odyssey is now my second favorite game of the series. On Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you can explore the beautiful ancient Greece, you can engage in ship battles, you can also hunt, find sunken treasures, you can do all kinds of things, and since it's still an Assassin's Creed game, you can try and fight everyone or instead use stealth to assassinate your target. Now the second game I want to talk to you guys about is completely different, because Dragon Quest XI is a turn-based JRPG, and I'm gonna be honest. Actually, I'm honest all the fucking time, so yeah, I usually don't like cartoony games, especially when they're a little too childish, but Dragon Quest XI is such a good game that it made me play it, love it, and finish it. I really like its turn-based combat system, and it's also got the best / the most fun crafting system I've ever seen. By the way, the game is coming to Nintendo Switch later this year, so if you haven't played it yet, you should definitely get it. Now if you're not into turn-based games, let me show you the third game on my list. Ni no Kuni 2, which is also a JRPG, but unlike Dragon Quest, this game has real-time combat. By the way, JRPG stands for Japanese role-playing game, for those of you who didn't know, so yeah, leave a like if you found that info useless. But anyways, on Ni no Kuni 2, you play as a young king who went on an epic quest to found a new kingdom. And while playing this game, I was like, dude, it's like I'm playing Dragon Quest but with real-time combat. So I did a little research, in other words, I just googled it, and I found out Level 5, you know, the guys who made Ni no Kuni also made Dragon Quest 8. Makes sense. Anyways, let's have a look at game number 4, The Witcher 3. According to fanboys, this is the best game ever. I'm not one of those people though. I think the game is far from being perfect, even though it's still great, and that's why it's on my list. The Witcher 3 has a great story, tons of RPG elements, and it's got boobies. But in my opinion, it's kinda depressing and it's not as fun as some other games. Speaking of which, let me show you a way more fun RPG, Fallout 76. Just kidding, it's Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't know why I do shit like this, I'm probably the only one who thinks it's funny. But yeah, Breath of the Wild is available on Switch, Wii U and on PC too, through emulators. You know, that's what I use to play it myself. And I have to say the game runs surprisingly well on the Wii U emulator, even if you have an average PC like mine. So The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will actually make you want to explore its awesome open world. You can play around with physics, which makes the game even more fun to play. And just because it's got cartoony graphics doesn't mean it's easy. It's actually challenging. You're gonna die a lot while playing this game, and for some reason weapons break way too quick. It's like they're made out of glass or something and you can't even fix them. Apart from this shitty game mechanic though, Breath of the Wild's got tons of awesome features that were later on stolen by other games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So if you haven't played this Zelda yet, you're missing out. Moving on to the next game on my list, we have Divinity Original Sin 2. It's got some deep tactical combat, turn-based obviously. It has online and split-screen multiplayer too, even though this is the kind of game I'd rather play alone and take my time with it, you know. Speaking of time, this game is so good and addicting I literally had to uninstall it because it sucked the shit out of my life. Seriously, on this game you can go anywhere, talk to anyone, there are tons of quests and your companions have their own quests too. They're not little bitches who are just there to do as you say. Long story short, get this game, play it, get fired, break up with your girlfriend, finish the game, and then you can have your life back. Anyways, at number 7 we have the game, the myth, the legend, Skyrim. And if you haven't played this one yet, then you're missing out on some serious fun and some great memes too. On Skyrim you can play in first person or third person view. You can also install mods to change almost everything about the game, and most importantly to make it look like a next gen game, as long as you don't mind the burnt plastic smell that'll come out of your PC or console, because you know Skyrim supports mods on console too. Anyways, if you want a more recent and also a more realistic version of Skyrim, then you should definitely check out the 8th game on my list, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the regular game or the Royal Edition which just came out. It's up to you. On this game, you're a motherfucking nobody, like seriously. Usually in role-playing games you're a hero, you're the chosen one. Not on this game. It tries to be historically accurate and realistic, so for example, armors and weapons degrade, food goes bad and you'll obviously have to eat, sleep, and even get some pussy or you'll die. Just kidding about the last part, but seriously, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a lot more realistic than Skyrim, and it's got a very interesting combat system, but it's full of hilarious bugs and it also runs like shit. It's still a great game though, and that's why I think you should give it a shot. And now we're gonna be moving on to a completely different type of RPG, because at number 9 we have Fallout 4. Not gonna lie, I prefer Fallout New Vegas, but it's 9 years old, so I thought I'd recommend Fallout 4 instead, because I'm obviously not gonna pick Fallout 69, I was gonna say 76. Back to Fallout 4 though, it's got an awesome post-apocalyptic open world, and just like Skyrim, you can play this as an FPS or a TPS. And you can also build and manage settlements, even though I'm not really a big fan of this new edition, but all around I still love this game and I think you should give it a shot. That's if for some reason you never played it. Last but not least, we have Warhammer Chaosbane, which is an ARPG, in other words a Diablo-like, except it takes place in the Warhammer universe obviously, and most importantly you can play it with up to 3 friends online and offline on all platforms, including PC. I played it with my brother on PC, and that's why it's kind of a big deal for me, and I'm sure some of you guys also care about having local co-op on PC too, right? Now if you don't, then you could just get Path of Exile, which is free to play and also better. Now let's get back to Warhammer Chaosbane. It's overpriced as fuck for now, unless you buy it from a CD key website instead of buying it from Steam. Then you could have it for around 20 bucks. You have 4 classes, so 1 per potential player, and I have to say I got the game for free. And I mostly played it with my brother, so I thought the game was really fun. And that's gonna be it for my top 10 recent RPGs. As you probably already noticed, I'm really into medieval RPGs. Nevertheless, I hope this video helped you find at least one good game that'll keep you busy for a while. If you know of any recent RPGs that I didn't mention and that are worth playing, then please tell everyone about them in the comments section. You know, instead of threatening to burn my house down, for example. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, take a look at my other videos, because I make game reviews, comparison videos, and top 10 videos just like this one, so you might find my content useful. And if you do, then please subscribe. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.